And so now in our admin panel we want to add a new category and also to delete categories. So we want a page that we can manage our categories, and for that we go to our file that we created, so in admin folder, categories, and now we can start importing our packages and then creating the UI first. So in our React, so we need some more packages from React. We need a use effect and also the use state. And then from React Native we will need a few more, and we just give it some space here. And then we'll need the flat list, so again we'll use the flat list. Also the dimensions, the text input, so this time we'll use the text input from the React Native library, and then the style sheet. And like this you can choose then what to use in your application, if you want to use the native one or create your own like we did for the rest of our forms. And then we will need the basic imports to make our API call, so we need a base URL from again our assets and common, and then the base URL. We also need the Axios to do those calls, so Axios from Axios. Then we need our async storage, so we can get the token, so async storage from React Native community async storage, so as we did before. And then we also will import our easy button, and we can do the import here. So we say import easy button from, and this comes from our shared folder, so shared, and we have our style components and then our easy button. Then we can already set the variable for dimensions, and we only need the width in this case, so var width, and we say dimensions dot get the window size. Then back to our categories component here, we can create our state variables, and first we will need the categories, so we can set our categories array, and we say set categories, then we say use state, and we start as an empty array. Then we'll need also the category name, and we say set category name as an empty start, so just empty. Then also our token, and for our token we say token and set token, and also starts as empty. Then for our UI we can already create it. So first thing, we have a view, and the view we can already set some style here. So let's just set a quick style, so we say position will be relative, and then our height will be 100%. Then after this view we can delete this text and set yet again another view, so view, and we can give it already the style here, so we'll need a margin bottom of 60, so we can avoid our navigation bar there, so 60, and then here we can set our flat list. And our flat list, we will have the data, and the data will be our categories array, but right now it's empty, but we can already pass, so we will get the categories from the backend and set to this state variable, and then we pass it here on the data to our flat list, and then we can render our item, and our item will have the item, so our data, and then the index as well. Then we can just arrow function it, and for now we pass the text and just say categories. This will change later. Then after the second view we will create another view, and where we will have our button and input to add a new category. And we can say the view, and inside another view with a text saying add category, and after that we want again another view, and this time will be for our text input, so our view, and we can already set the style here, so it will be an inline style. So we say the width equals the width, and we split it by 2.5. Then inside of this view we will have our text input, and our text input we will have the, first we set the text input, and then we will have the value, and the value will be the category name, so the variable that we set on top of our component, and then we have our onChange text that we set this text value to our variable. So here we say set category name to this text. Then after this view we just need to pass our button, and our button will be also inside of a view, so just a simple view, and we say easy button. We want it to be a medium button with a primary color, and we'll have the on press event later. Then inside of this easy button we want our text, and our text will be submit, so we can submit our new category to our backend. Then the text will also need some style, so we can already create it here, so style, and we say color white, and then font weight we can set it to bold. Now if we save, we already have our title name here, our input but is not configured yet, and our submit button. The list is empty because we still don't have any categories coming from the backend, so that's that. But we need our submission form, let's say here down, fixed, so we can see our categories and then add new categories down here. And for that we need to create a couple more styles. For that we need to create our style sheet, so it says styles equals style sheet, and then create, and from our first class we need a bottom bar, so we'll have our inputs, and then we set it to background white, width will be the entire width of the window, and then the height we can set it to 60, some padding of 2, and then the flex direction will have to be a row, so this will look better but not very pretty. That's not the point of this course again. So align items to center, and we'll justify content to space between, so our items will have the space between and align themselves center, right and left. But for that we want our bar down, so we need a position absolute with a bottom 0 and also the left 0. Also we need some styles for our input, so we say input and we just have 3 styles, so we say height will be 40, border color we can set it to gray, and the border width we set it to 1. Now if we save, nothing happens because we need to set it here. So our first view of our add categories form, we can say here style and say styles bottom bar. Then we need to also set the styles to our input, and that comes here. So after our value we can say style equals styles dot input. Now if we save, we have our input down, also our button and the label here, and then we can just add new categories here and we will render them here. But first we need our categories item to appear here.